Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day this finds you. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Thanks for joining. Much appreciated. Game talk. Going to be talking RPGs. What? I know, crazy, right? When everything else in the world seems like it's anything but role-playing games. I will be your host for the next hour. My name is Sean, and I like tabletop role-playing games. Typically find myself running them and playing them. That's right. I play both sides of the fence. How's everybody doing? Look at everybody joining here. Ryan, I saw you chime in this morning. I realize you will check the VOD. Thank you for letting me know, because I would be worried otherwise. Like the day Ryan doesn't show up, I'll be like, what's going on? Laramie, good to see you. Joe, morning. Just doing some roll call. See everybody here. Shanbot. Howdy, neighbor. Blake, good evening or early morning. Gabe, morning. Holy cow, people showed up and my chat hasn't moved. Harrigan, good morning. Well, that's right. Ryan mentioned funeral as well. Sorry, Ryan. I'm glad Harrigan reminded me. Condolences. Victor, morning. Orcus, good morning. Cognizant, morning. Jim, morning. Matt, good morning. Wayne, good morning. Tim, neighbor, good morning. Mike, morning. Uh-oh. Q2 Mike. Q2U makes an appearance. Uh-oh. Are you going to the Dells, Laramie? That's not far from me. I mean, it is a little bit, like 45 minutes. We'll have fun, man. Go to Ripley's, the museum. My wife liked it. We never go up there. And she's like, hey, I want to go to Ripley's Museum. It's interesting. It's all right. Where are you staying? You should tell me where you're staying, what room, what time you check in, how long you'll be there. You going to the Kalahari? Oh, you're there right now? Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah? You'll be back in 2 weeks? Oh. The wilderness. Okay. All right. I won't say everybody can see it in the chat, but I won't say it. The wilderness. All right. It's getting a little late in the season. Water parks, man, they can start getting cool. Lucky enough, we're having some weird weather before it gets, like I think today it's supposed to still be 80s. Trumpet, thanks for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Hobbs, congratulations. You thought you would stay in the shadows today, but Trumpet has given, of all people, a membership to Hobbs. Dude, yeah, water park, but it's 80s, man, right? Yeah, it's the last of the 80s, though. I think tomorrow it's like, I saw on a forecast like a few days ago, so as you get closer, the forecast changes. But I thought it was like 86, 87, 84, 82, and then tomorrow is like 67. Yeah, put it on your tab, Orcus. The Dells. Oh, man. Laramie's a fish out of water up there because it's all Illinois people. Illinois loves the Dells. If you're not familiar with Wisconsin Dells, it is, so I'm in Madison, Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Dells is directly north of us, and it is a water park vacation land. It's about the touristy trap, the most touristy trap you can find in all of Wisconsin. They have the ducks. They call them the ducks, which are the old World War II amphibious things that are on wheels that can go in the water, and they take you on the Wisconsin River tours if you want to see They've got the Tommy Bartlett show used to be up there. I think Tommy Bartlett is no longer. I don't know if anybody bought it, but it used to be a big ski show. Like, just imagine the Flamingo Kid, the movie, and, making it a huge, like many, many, many hotels. But what's happened, Noah's Ark was up there, was the biggest water park, I think, in the country. It might have been the world. I don't know. But what happened was, because we're so seasonal, all the developers were like, you know what? We should just make huge, huge, huge resorts and put the water parks inside them. That way, anybody can come up to Wisconsin and take part in that year round. So, and they've got a strip like downtown that's got all kinds of, stores that. Casey wanted to do the tour things. I'm like, honey, this isn't the Wild Frontier. It's basically the same as our home. Tourist trap in a charming way or trashy way? That's a good question. I probably campy way. I will say camp for sure. Like, there's a shirt on the main street, like a shirt shop that has all the sayings on them and all kinds of stuff. And you can buy quote unquote moccasins. And I think they might have been toned down, but they used to have when I was growing up, when things weren't weren't what they are today. You could go into a store and buy what is it? Jade, right? Anything jade based, not jade, turquoise based, right? Very much Native American stuff, like dream catchers and moccasins and all kinds of stuff, because it's not. I mean, it's just weird. It is what it is. It is not Dane County. Hell no. Dane County is much more south. Dane County is east to west, rectangle, not north to south. So you got to go through a couple counties before you're up in the Dells. But anyways, if you want to Google it, just Google Wisconsin Dells. It's like, I think in the off season, there's literally, I don't know if there's even 1,200 people that live up there. And then, of course, in fine touristy town places, you'll get a bunch of staff there they're not local, right? They're many, maybe even from Eastern Bloc countries and all over the place, just because they get a job and work some of the places up there. Anyways, so there you go, Wisconsin Dells. You're welcome, Wisconsin Dells. But it's kids, man, you can find a lot of things to keep them occupied up there for sure. Go-kart tracks, But it is the late season. Anything after Labor Day, man, is like, whoop, everything goes like kind of downhill. Because usually it's like 50, 60 degrees right now, but it's not. Zweefers a ways. Yeah, exactly, Harrigan. Exactly, not out. They used to have, they would have Native American, like, I don't want to, I guess powwow. I don't know if that's the appropriate term necessarily, but they used to have like Native American, not shows. I guess it was shows like you could go to and watch. Yeah. Yeah. Some of those ladies, I know, man. I know, Gabe. Welcome to Wisconsin Talk. Yeah. Weird is the way to classify it for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Zweefer's an hour and a half away. I'm closer to the Dells than Zweefer is. The Dells are cheesy, but that's part of the charm. That's what it is. Like, that's the part. Like, if you're going there to go, oh, it'll be a nice getaway. Yeah, if you don't mind the cheese. Literally, it's like it kind of goes with the Wisconsin theme, if you will. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, free advertising. Every state has these places. For sure. For sure. There's usually one in every state for sure. Yeah, you see us in 2 weeks, man. It's all good. Speaking of 2 weeks, Gamehole Con will be in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks, technically, because it starts on Thursday. So if you're going to be there, I look forward to like a few more newcomers that are coming, that are in the chat, that haven't been before. I'm looking forward to those individuals, seeing some of those individuals. Don't do what Kristen did if he shows up today. And don't say anything to anybody and don't make yourself known. And then, on the awkward chance you're in my game, you sit there for like an hour before telling me that you're somebody that's been in the chat for, I don't know, a year or two. So, not to call out Kristen, I will. But yeah, make sure you say hello. We're going to have a soiree at 8 p.m. on Saturday, which is pretty typical. It's BYOB, and if you don't drink, that's fine. You can show up. Bring your own, whatever you want to tea, whatever you want to drink. Zweefer might be bringing something. I think he's going to bring his homemade cider or something just as he made homemade root beer, I think, right, Zweefer? So no cost for the soiree, if you will. So if you're in the neighborhood and you're coming to Gamehole Con, and if you're not, you will be missed. I probably won't stream that Saturday, which is 2 weeks from today. But it's a good convention. It's like a happy medium. It's not too small. It's not too large. Probably get, I don't know if they'll get 5,000 to 7,000 this year, maybe. Somebody be like, damn, that's big. Well, not PAX or Gen Con big, right? Some of us play, well, usually many of us, like in the chat that'll be showing up, clear our nights to play off-grid stuff. So I think there's going to be so many people that are interested in playing off-grid, and they don't book their nights, that will be like, probably have 2 tables going on, I'm guessing, depending on what's going to be offered. I'm running Shadowdark on Thursday, and then I'm playing the rest of the weekend. And I've got a night game on Friday, I think. One of my games is a night game. So I think it lasts till 10. So there you go. Looking forward to seeing everybody else as well. Not to blow everybody else off, but it'll be good. It's the one time a year many of us will see each other in person, not on a monitor. So 2 weeks and 12 hours until the soiree. Tick, tick. I'm only coming for the Spotted Cow on tap. There you go. They were having a hard time finding a sponsor. I saw in a newsletter, like, hey, if you want to sponsor, somebody sponsored, and then they said there's still room for somebody to pick up the beer. So I'm not sure how Gamehole is doing that. And I could tell Gamehole why somebody's not sponsoring the beer. It's because it's too freaking expensive, man. It's like $500 a keg. $500 a keg. Just for, context wise, I think like you could probably pick it up whole, you yourself could go to the liquor store and buy it for, I don't even know what they're going for now. They used to be like $100. It's just too expensive. Brett and I used to do it. And then I was like, it was like $150. I'm like, yeah, we'll put it out there, put our little gaming MBS sign on the front. It's not like we garnered a bunch of, that's the thing. There's no ROI on it. People come drink your beer and that's it. It's like the people that show up to your booth at a career fair and take all your tchotchkes and never give you an email or anything, and they just leave, right? What hotel and room is the soiree? It is at the Holiday Inn Express, the same one we've had for the last 2 years at least. So the same room. I can't remember what the room is. It's the only one in the back. And by the time we have it at 8 a.m., or 8 p.m., don't go to 8, go there in the morning. 8 p.m. Central Time, local time. It'll be quiet. Yeah, the Colorado contingent. That's decently big. 6,000? Yeah, probably. They've expanded too, so it might have a little bit more room than in the past. And it's probably going to be okay weather. I mean, right today, I think it's supposed to be forecast like 82 today. Tim and those guys in the chat, Shambach, can correct me. But, I mean, even if it's 60, it's pretty freaking nice for October in Wisconsin, let me tell you. You can rest assured no snow, which we have not been able to promise in years past. But especially when we hit like November, it's usually like we could potentially get a blizzard. So I don't see that happening. Yeah, we got a few people that are local to meet. Well, let's see. I mean, Tim. Not to give everybody's location away, but Tim and Shanbot are like down the road from me. Zweefer is a little ways away. He's like, what are you, 2 hours away? I think from me, Zweefer. 2 hours away. Who am I missing? Who else am I missing? Can't remember who else is local in the chat until they pop up and hit me in the face. I think those are the three that are in Wisconsin. Runeslinger, I saw you. Do our characters know what we're all up to? Right. We should probably get to that, right? Anyways. La Nina is coming. Expect a cold and snowy winter this year. Maybe the coldest we will ever see again. Well, maybe. We'll see. We could talk about an hour for weather. Oh, Mike, you're only 47 minutes from Madison? Oh, shit, man. Are you out towards Milwaukee? I know a Mike that's out there who's a gamer, but I don't know. Eileen, morning. Good to see you. Weather chat. Let's get into the topic. Wayne Peacock in the chat. Yeah, that guy. Wayne. What's up, Michael? I see you. Wayne brought this up. Hey, here's a topic suggestion. Oh, an Akanakama walk. Okay. Hey, everybody in the chat. How do you say where Mike is from? It is not how I pronounced it. I will tell you that. Everybody say it out loud. It's a joke because nobody can say it if they're not from here. It's Akanamawak. Akanamawak. I know Akanamawak. I didn't know you were local, Mike. So yeah, Wayne said like, hey, here's a topic. Here's a topic. In my shaggy voice. Player knowledge versus character knowledge, and go. All right. You ever play a game with you know the person, but you haven't played in one of their games, and then you play in one of their games, and they're like, nope, and you're talking, and you're kind of doing your thing, and it's not a big deal, and then they just go, no table talk. Anybody have that? I've had that happen. Alex, I'm gonna call it Alex. Alex Kammer, who runs Gamehole Con. I played in a convention game with him. He had an open seat, and people were kind of starting to talk across the table. And he's like, yep, no table talk. And it was funny. I just was like so weirdly abrupt. But that's really what it comes down to sometimes, right? Not always. It's not just table talk. But it is, hey, my character is, like, case in point, I played Outcast Silver Raiders. My character had like a, 6 wisdom, but like a 17 intelligence. Dude, that's just hard for me to play. I'm sorry. It just is. Because if it was switched, because I'm not the most intelligent, but I probably am a little more wise. So it was playing against type, let me tell you. And sometimes that gets lost, right? You can't have that on all the time because then your brain slips into Sean mode, and I start just kind of injecting who I am as player. It's also funny where OSR is player skill over character, right? But we still have abilities. In the game. So how do you manage it? How much do you... Well, first of all, is it a big deal for you as a game master? And this is for all the game masters out there, or even players. Frankly, players, it could be a big issue too. Like, I don't like playing in games where that's happening. Or they're like... It's not, they're injecting That's my fear with playing with smart people. Not even smart people. Like I'm running like Delta Green, and I've got a guy who's got a master's degree in biochemistry or something, one of the hard sciences, and I'm afraid to bring up like, I'm not in Delta Green because I can just say, well, you could even tap into your player knowledge. I don't care. You can actually understand how chemistry works amongst all the different chemicals and elements of the periodic table. Go nuts. This doesn't fit into that, which makes it even more weird, right? So I could use that to the advantage where somebody would be like, I don't know if that's supposed to work like that. And then you have to have the GM like hit them in the face with like, no, it's not. And because you player don't know chemistry, that's not how it works. Harrigan says, obviously it depends. Hey-o. 10 XP for that. On the player and on the game being played. Okay, so why would it, and I think he goes into it later, but why would it depend? What factors? This is a game? Like the game facilitates that you're supposed to? Laramie says, I do not like games that are player knowledge forward like so many people want AD&D to be. Not the game for me. Tim says, character knowledge versus player knowledge is an outdated golden calf that needs to be retired. What? Huh? Have you ever heard that saying, Sean? Outdated golden calf? Yeah, my grandfather used to say it all the time. Oh, okay. It means this. Oh, okay. Heard it phrased as don't use player knowledge. Stay in character. Shambot. Okan no mo walk. That's how Okan no mo walk. That's not bad phonetically. Harrigan says, also depends on what kind of player knowledge. In the OSR, you're expected to use what you know and be creative to solve problems, but don't bring knowledge of the adventure into the game. Don't bring knowledge of the adventure into the game. Tim says, many systems like PBTA have solved it by making it so no one knows what might happen next. They solved it? Really? Come on. That seems pretty tied up. Big bow on the top. Oh, this is why you need a dozen individual knowledge skills, right, Harrigan? Right? Player skill I'm okay with. Player knowledge is boring. In some cases, the knowledge is the currency. See investigative and espionage games. Jason, where you been, buddy? How you been? Hope everything's all right. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. It's been a minute indeed. It's a big deal when players whose characters are not in the scene want to participate or use that info. Oh, that's so. Thanks for the context, Wayne. That helps. Runeslinger, is that the or is that the? Some players know when it matters to keep it separate. Some do not. Kralak. If a player uses modern science concepts in a fantasy game as a GM, I feel entitled to make fun of them mercilessly. Jim says, PCs are almost always going to know more than the players do about the world because they live there. I'm usually more concerned with accounting for that than for players knowing more than the PCs. Well, that's a good point too, Jim. For sure. Like, oh, let me get this straight. I live there, but I don't know where like the next town over is. Or how to get there? I just read a blog about big skill lists. Oh boy. Tim says they solved it. There you go. Stamp. Sealed. Delivered. Runeslinger. There's a game called Headspace which allows characters to blend their consciousness mostly for this reason. Not to be confused with What About John, right? Or I Am John. My name is John. Krog. I make it easy. Different physics. No, you don't have iron in your blood. Having heavy things fall faster, etc. Harrigan says, for PBTA, this is, Tim, is more or less right. It's kind of not a think. It's a big time thing in other kinds of games. Take your fighter with 9 int whose player wants to, in a medieval world, make gunpowder, etc. Tim says, I've seen whole campaigns turn in a completely new direction because of a failed or successful move. Hard move, soft move. Fail forward. Orcus Dorcas says, shenanigans. Still, man, the Irish are still not happy with your use of that word. I'm just saying. Fritz Shenanigan is not happy. Not a huge deal as long as it doesn't derail the game immensely. You know it in a modern game, but your character doesn't. I'm not going to block you from using it. It doesn't mean it's going to work. Trumpet, thank you again. Who is the lucky winner? Professional pauper, congratulations. Believe it or not, you are now a member. Matt says, depends on perspective. Smarter than character versus character. Smarter than player. Such as new players wanting to play an FBI agent yet doesn't know their regulations. Yes. Everyone is John. Thank you. No, you're John. I'm Jim. Got it. Jim is always right. 10-4. I've also interpreted player description to their character's voice for them to remind them of their limitations. IT equals information technology, Sean, just so you know. That's right. Well, I should, yes. Good point. Not the strong emphasis it, but literally information technology. Now I'm going to get razzed because... yeah, okay, I got your numbers. William, good to see you. Player versus character knowledge. I don't think it's bad, but it sometimes can be taken way too far. And to Wayne's point, you're not there, which is something that's maybe a little bit different. Not completely sitting in the boxes that everybody is speaking from. And in some games with the OSR, that's to be expected. Like, well, yeah, you're the player. Figure it out. Figure it out, player. Because you're supposed to win the game. That's a whole nother topic. What exactly is it, metagaming? What about monster stats? Oh, troll. Whip out some oil, get some fire. Right? What else? Oh! Sounds like a rust monster. I pull out my wooden staff. Whoop! It's blind. Don't worry about it. That's a subset. Yeah, characters not in scenes, acting on what happens in those scenes. It's like rules lawyering reality. Yeah. Mike says, I think there's a time and place for players using knowledge and character. I trust that players will know when it is appropriate and when it is not. If it becomes a major issue, I'll just talk to them. Mike, that sounds completely reasonable. Please do not interject your reasonableness. That's what I mean by players matter. Almost everyone I play with can keep the type of knowledge separate. But is that important? Let me ask you this, Arrogant. Is that important for you? Is that like, I can't play with these guys because that's not how they roll? Is that a point of your games? Is that the checkbox for when you sign up to a Harrigan game? Here's the deal. Knowing to burn a troll, knowing how to kill a vampire without knowing about vampires. Ah, right. Ooh, teeth marks on the neck. All right, let's go get the Crucifix Vampire Slayer kit out. Laramie he confides with Mike. I think this is where a good table with a good relationship matters. I'm with you. All right. Tim says, I think the concept of metagaming is sort of ridiculous. actors read the script, but it shouldn't affect their performance. What Mike said. It's an enormous important to me, and I'll correct it every time. Could you use it to enhance a game? Could you, as a game master, say, yeah, that's fine. Sure. Go ahead. Pour oil on the troll. Womp. How about pouring oil on a troll and it heals them when it burns? They like stand in your campfire for a reason. Been in some cooperative games where using player knowledge of other scenes is essential, but linked to that is willingness to take a hit with your character. The overall story trumps any given PC win. Some games that troll vampire stuff is fine, and others finding out is meant to be part of the game. Trumpet, change the monsters so many in metagaming will bite them in the ass. Bingo, baby. You know the deal. Or just tweak them, right? Also, if players don't want to get on board with Mike's plan here, change up the weaknesses. Once again, it's still a running joke from when I made vampires weak to basil instead of garlic. Change the spice. So to avert this thinking, TSR came up with dumb shit like nilbogs. Wayne, it is a skill that RPG players should learn. I find that folks who come in from RPG video games have a little harder time being aware of separating this, that ignoring this can impact immersion. Tim says, do you really think in a world where vampires and trolls are real, everyone wouldn't have hard stories about how to fight them? We know that in real life. No. I don't think they would hear tales about that shit. Necessarily. Not like, dude, you're like, well, I mean, so with the advent of social media in medieval England, why wouldn't they know? There'd be rumors. But I don't think the information doesn't flow back in those fantasy days like they do now. So knowledge, I don't buy the knowledge is like, sure, it's written in the book so everybody knows when they're adventuring to pour oil and light the troll on fire. Okay. Could there be a tome that has that info? Sure, in your game? Fuck yeah, absolutely. But I mean, to make it sound like the media we consume is back in the medieval days. Come on, Sean. People have been gossiping and telling stories forever. Yes, they have. They have. But it's not the same, dude. It's just not. You can't compare, like, I don't know, 800 BC, like 2025. Tavern stories would be the social media way to spread monster fighting knowledge. Yeah, people share it, or the monster exists, or it's accurate, and it hasn't been twisted. Play a game of telephone, folks. That's all I'm saying. Maybe know about trolls that turn to stone when sunlight hits them. Maybe. You, like I said, you want to run your game any way you want. No wrong way. Go ahead. So you could say, in my game, everybody knows the monster stats. Got it. Check box. Nah, they'll have heard about a troll, but no one would know how to kill it, or they would have already killed it. Maybe. Reading Dracula, lore of how to ward off evil and vampires slowly trickles in. I think it should be in the game. I think it should be the same in a game like that. Van Helsing takes multiple opportunities to do research to learn more. Sure, one guy researching. Totally buy it. More games I play And the more people I play with, the more relative things become in regard to the games we play, and the more important individual preference becomes. I prefer to avoid situations which put players into uncomfortable situations in regard to what they know versus what their characters could reasonably act upon. Gabe said, this is what the random knowledge tables simulate. Some information correct, some not. Agreed. I like that. Yeah, roll it on a table. It's like a rumor table. Is it a rumor true or is it false? Like Wayne said, if the players are all skilled and keep that separate, cool. It's just another skill the GM needs to know when it's an issue and impacts fun / immersion for everyone. Yeah. I think you could use it both ways. And I think there's a practical way, like to Wayne's point about separating the party and like everybody at the table knowing what's going on and then going, well, I just go down the hall. I'm going to run there. They're under attack. I'm going to run. Well, you don't know if that's happening. What do you mean? I can't hear them? It's got to be loud. True. That may be true. It's going to take you a round or two. A round or two to get down like 150 feet down the hallway? Give me a break. Fine. You're materialize in the middle of the room. Like some of those, we've all had those arguments. Laramie, how do I kill this? Roll library use. Failed? Roll monster lore. Failed? Roll gather information. Uh-oh. I think it would be fun and realistic if the peasants would have info and stories about mythic critters' foibles. It's just that some of it should be wrong. Actually, still like today. Indeed. Yeah, because everything on the internet that we have is accurate, just so everybody knows. Like, it just is. We live in the days of facts. And nothing is misinterpreted because science. Just saying. Come on, Sean. There's so many tales of vampires in the medieval ages. Everybody would know how to kill one. Okay. Sure. Late shift. Morning. Don't worry. Vampires, for example, in Asia, in Russia, in Europe, are all widely different and only in recent history brought together in one umbrella due to a few shared traits. Concept of clearly delineated categories of monsters with specific powers and weaknesses is a D&D-ism. Folklore monsters didn't really work that way. Harrigan says, Jim, yes, see Vaesen monsters. Right. Weaver says, I absolutely do that. I have a rumor table that I write with about 20 to 30% that are wrong in some way. Funny in Monster Squad where they slap Dracula with garlic pizza. It says Blake. Players. Let's talk about players. We get into the GM a lot. Players, what could they do? My character wouldn't know that. Good players like, I don't know if my player would know that. Would my player know that? Yes, they would. No, they wouldn't. Okay. Challenge of learning or ignoring information you already have? When does restricting yourself from using knowledge reduce fun? And what is the appeal of discovery and mystery in play? Some genre considerations we touched on a little bit. High-stakes investigation games like Call of Cthulhu, for example. The mystery is central. I know what this is. I know what this is about. Here, let me just tell you. I know. But nobody shared that with you. Like, you weren't in the library. The group has it. They are like 20 minutes away. Here, let me interpret everything you found for you. Tactical combat-focused games where optimization is expected. Ds and Ds. Anybody? Story-first games where character integrity is prioritized. PBTA. Horror games where surprise and fear are key elements. So how do you address some of this? What is the solution to addressing player knowledge, character knowledge, when to use it, when not to use it? What's that look like? Session 0. Dude, where's my anti-session zeros? Dude, session 0 is like, nobody uses, like, that's stupid and dumb. Let's just make characters and play. Session 0 is like, for like noobs that just join RPGs with 5e. Like, come on. Whoops. Techniques for preserving mystery while maintaining fun. Leaning into the dramatic irony. Using mechanics that incorporate player versus character knowledge differences. Have you ever had a memorable moment where player or character knowledge created an interesting situation? I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have. I should have an example written down. Because is it always bad? Kralok. Yeah, as a player, I'll either make stuff up that's wrong or ask the GM if we might know the thing we do know. Advanced player. Zui, for reducing knowledge is almost like leaning into a Nat 1. It can be a lot of fun if you are willing to go along with the ride. Blake says had PCs who got annoyed with red herring because the knowledge/effort they just won was proven wrong, so they felt cheated and screwed over. Oh. You frickin' ass. GM. Laramie says Mike did it already. Move on. Wayne says, I seem to remember a PC who got bamboozled by an obvious threat, an untrustworthy little girl because he had a wisdom of 6. That's true. That must have been an A player. Love a good session 0. Harrigan, on-the-job training, address it in the moment during a break. Boom, bam. Jim says, player versus character knowledge has rarely been an issue in games I've played in the last several years, but like Harrigan said earlier, that's probably just because of who I play with. Michael says, I recommend shock collars. When the player uses knowledge they wouldn't have, give them a good zap. I think we can all retire after that comment. Thank you, Michael. Michael has bestowed us with his wisdom. Awesome. Mike says, I think role-playing that my character does not know things I do is fun and gives my character chances to research, investigate, talk to people, and generally piece things together. Yes. Is that what you want? Right? No, man. Got to win this thing. Blake says you can say your PCs know A and B. You heard rumors about C and D. Can I get those on Amazon? Probably. S3X Edmund Thunder. Realize everyone knows about everything on how to play, so Hermit and Solo forever. They can't meta my game if I meta me first. Brandon Barnes, good to see you, buddy. Crypto rolls. I'm trying to remember the exact mechanics, but the players are unaware if their role is used or the GM's secret role. Well, that's a good one. I'll roll. I'm sure the players will love it. Get yourself a good RuneQuest Strike Rank Ruler. That thing could smack players from across the table. There you go. Now we're getting into physical abuse now. Come on. Dude, somebody's going to come across this and be like, I watched Sean's video on Saturday and I was very disappointed as the chat started touting violence as a solution. Michael, if the players don't want to wear it, the shock collar, it can just wire their chairs. You can just wire it to their chairs too. There you go. There we go. All kinds of solutions. It's only abuse if they didn't like it. I think you're playing a different RPG at that point. Just saying. Just saying. I don't know if it's as prevalent nowadays. You guys run into it much? I don't know if we run into it much. It's probably the groups I'm playing with, right? Oh, there you go. No need for shock collars. Just have them put $1 in the beer and snack money jar. Hit them with their wallet. In the military, we have a saying, there's 2 things you can take away from a soldier that they will not like. 1, time. 2, money. Hit them in the pocketbook or hit them in the time space. So disciplinary action sucks because they usually can fine you and restrict you to quarters. You really suck and win then. There's also meta knowledge of how mean the GM can be, and some players use that knowledge to avoid risks. Yeah, it could also really mess a game up, right? Wayne says, so not to pick on players, I also think it's totally fair to ask the GM if my character knows things. Things I do not know. And it's dickish to hold that info back or make them roll for it. Harriet says bypassing all sort of interesting things because they are afraid their precious PC may get a boo-boo. He's not here to defend himself, Harrigan. Gabe says my groups discuss it during the game. Sometimes when I'm running, I don't care. Gabe, you don't care? Oh, boy. Gabe, you running at Gamehole Con, right? Guys? Gabe running, right? Gamehole Con? He hasn't faced the group. Yeah, he did. He did last year. Just kidding, Gabe. He ran Sleepy Hollow. We were very nice to Gabe. I think Gabe got off easy. Just saying. Gabe, the scene and knowledge can roll around them from scene to scene. Other players making considerations are like voices in other characters' heads. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I like if Jeff is talking at the table and it's like the scene is on my buddy Joe and Jeff's like feeding him full of stuff like, oh, like, yeah, okay. That's maybe what's going through his head. Or Joe could be schizophrenic and I could use Jeff as the other personality he knows. Discuss away, meta away at GHC, he says. I got a feeling Gabe can handle anything we throw at him. He's like, you guys want to do that? That's cool. All right, moving on. I forgot you did run. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you can use it to your advantage. There's times to like address it. It's also to use it to your knowledge. Like if they're overly abusing it, you know, doing rumor tables. Some are true, some are false. It really comes down to why does a player want to play X game? You guys have you ever put that out there in session 0? Or even, you know, the beginning of a game? Why are you playing this game? I don't know if we've ever, I mean, some of us do. We could just assume like, well, we like role-playing games. But like, why do you want to play this game? Why do you want to play this game with these people? What are you hoping to get out of it? What's your thoughts on metagaming? How do you roll with that? How do you separate character knowledge and player knowledge? I'm just curious. What are you hoping to, what are you hoping to get out of this? Because I think even in session 0, it's interesting. One knock about session 0, we're not getting into session 0 and how to conduct one. We've done cats and stuff like that. I've done a video on cats. But let's, you know, the GM's like, da-da, here's my game. Cats, concept, aim, tone, subject matter. Questions? No? Cool. Boom. Maybe we need to, like, hey, you know, I've talked about, I don't know if I've mentioned this verbatim, but I've always like, let's source the table or survey the table, set a survey to players. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit too much. What are you looking for? What do you want to do? What is your thing? Do you like role playing? Do you like action? Do you like both? Like where on the sliding scale do you sit on this? Do you find yourself leaning towards certain class archetypes, personas? Why? Actually, if they don't even say, no, not really, and then you just ask them, there's probably a theme. So even if they don't admit it, you could probably understand it from a game master perspective. Well, let's see. I played the face person in an espionage game, and then like in Dungeons and Dragons, I started out as the barbarian, and then he got infinitely smarter, and then I was kind of I've kind of contributed to unraveling the mystery in that game. Like then, okay. Comment about players asking questions also spot on. Wayne, another good skill to learn. Gabe's got pretty thick skin. Indeed. Definitely harder to needle than Harrigan. Right. Harrigan's a little soft. It's why he's so hurtful, Jim. Harrigan's bottom lip is getting infinitely heavier. How do you handle a player who regularly crosses that line occasionally? Verisimilitude, breaking ways. Sometimes I'm dealing with that at the moment. Oh, no. Got to talk to him. Talk. Hey, man. I don't even think it's like talking to the person. That's a bad thing. I think we're just conflict adverse. But how you talk to them. And, there's going to be people like Laramie and I could probably talk differently than if I were to talk to somebody that's never played in a game at a convention. And they're a rando. I'm like, all right, dude, I got to pull you aside here. Here's kind of the situation. Help me help you. Haven't asked why, if they are playing this game, have used touchdowns so they can align style, tone, and genre. Right? Sure. Harrigan does have a big heart, I will say. Doc, good to see you. Oh, I forgot. I took the topic down. I ask that all the time. Why are you playing this game, particularly at cons, but even on one shots with my friends? I just want to see what the game's like. Okay, just getting a feel for it. Test run, mechanics. All right, okay. Session 0 thing's a great idea. I know why I'm running it and can assume, but what do the players want? Brandon says, target, they know that it's not a trap. If the roll is low, they think there's a trap that may lead them into a different trap or whatever you come up with. I think that's a second parter from as above crypto rolls. If there's a trap, use the player's roll. If there isn't, use the GM's roll. In the last instance, GM rolls over then rolls over target. Sorry, I broke that up, Brandon. Wayne says, I have not, and it is a good idea. Not sure we have the lingo for that conversation. Sean, I respect that position. I tend to, okay, here are a few things I'd like to run. What do you want to do? And then, if needed, we can nudge those base ideas. Those bad ideas. We can nudge those base ideas. Michael, session 0. Gently correct in the moment. Private convo in the break or after the game. Direct discussion at the start of the next session. Michael says, I have a player who does that from time to time. I just have told them away from the table that I find that jarring. They were unaware how that affects folks. Sean, I only have bad ideas. Conflict aversion, man. I got to get used to just kind of telling people, like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Here's the best way to do it. I'm going to give you some advice. It's like people person advice. Can I talk to you for a second? You're asking permission to ask. It sounds silly. Yeah, sure, of course. Okay. Mind if I got something on my mind. Can I share it with you? Sure. So one of the things is this. Like, may I make a suggestion? Of course. Like, when you position something like a question and you're asking almost verbatim permission, like, who's going to say no? No. May I make a suggestion? No. I don't think so. Now, this is going to become a meme. Like, every time I run a game and one of you knuckleheads is at my table, they're going to be like, Sean, May I make a suggestion? I'm going to be like, no. But it's like, it's an approach to just like people person. And it's not something everybody knows. Like a lot of this stuff, like people interactions, just kind of things we've grown up with through experiences. And some of us have learned and taken away things like what we like or what we don't like. And then we've kind of internalized them, and then we use them or we don't. Or we don't realize that and we don't understand the value of what that looks like. And then we come across like, hey, I got to talk to you. You know, you're kind of being an asshole. And obviously nobody's really liking the way you play this game. So I'm just going to tell you, you need to tone it down. Oh, okay. That's not going to warrant a reaction, right? You got mileage may vary. We're all adults. Most of us are friends. We're playing with people we kind of know. You know, the way I would talk to my buddy Jeff is different than I would talk to somebody at a convention. We all know that. Same way we talk to our parents. We don't talk to our parents in the same way we talk to our buddies. Don't forget to hit that like button. Michael says, I might need to talk to them away from the game. The player. Here's the other thing too. Let's like put things into like buckets that you know is not going to be it won't come across constructively. Harsh criticism, like public humiliation. Because as Michael was saying this, like I need to talk to them away from the table. Yes, there's no point in outing them in front of everybody. Even my buddy Jeff, if I just called him out in front of the group, we could all laugh at it, but it may actually hit a sore point with him too, right? Like public humiliation, right? Player has appeared responsive to gentle nudges during the game, but continues to slip. Man, I don't know. Hey, you mind if I, like, maybe we had like a code word or something? So, and I know you're kind of slipping into that. Would you be open to that? Yeah, cool. Like, I'll pick my nose. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do one of these. And just say, like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, right? But I still want to remind you. Yeah, that's cool. Edmund, I don't think I've crossed that problem yet, but I have a vivid imagination to play with. So you play with imagination. So you play with foreknowledge. I go from good guy, let's play, and become messily chaotic neutral. Yeah. Mike says, ask, can I provide some feedback to you? Make the feedback about behaviors, not the person. Position the feedback as a means to improve rather than what is going wrong. I've had good luck with this. Yeah, I agree. Mike is, he's spitting diamonds over there. Shambot, now this is at the true heart of player knowledge of how to help another player grow. It's freaking Jeff every time. Sorry, Jeff. It's a freaking Jeff every time. Jeff, I don't know. I don't know too many Jeffs I don't like. Just saying. Dude, I just make it seem like it was a PC thing. Hey, Sean, meet me over by the fridge about that spell thing we talked about. And then talk about whatever. Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's maybe us. The game master. Hey, like the players, like, I didn't see that. I didn't see this coming. Sorry. I didn't know. If you would just stop doing that, it would help. And I think I speak for the whole table. We also have to admit, sometimes we just got to, like, wave the white flag, move on, agree to disagree. It's all like chemistry. We're going to have the player that just doesn't get it and isn't really going to change. Some will take the advice. Some will grow from it, but some won't. And you got to find a different group or a different player. Anyways, thanks for the banter and the suggestions, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks, Wayne, for the topic of discussion. Really appreciate it. Harrigan says this nibbles at the edges of why GMs need to see things through a player's eyes. Agreed. I totally agree. Does this cross into the X card territory? Maybe it could. I mean, I wouldn't say no. Good topic. Thanks, Mike. That's all Wayne. Wayne's the topic. It's a finicky thing. Like Brett and I used to say all the time, like if we just talked about like things that were good and bad in a role-playing game, and we just brought it to people's attention. And we all acted, we didn't personalize it. We just kind of acted upon what it is. And it's like, oh, it's good advice. It's good to know. Sorry, I wasn't aware. We were all adults about it. No RPG podcasts. No RPG streams. No discussions to talk about. Because these things keep going on for decades. And they still aren't solved. And the thing is that's just because we're people. And some of us learn, some of us don't. Some of us aren't even aware. So it just continues. So let's get into news, huh? All right. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Good banter and all that good stuff. Is my stuff coming through my speakers? I'm getting a little feedback, I think. In case you're hearing the whoop. Uh-oh. Strange. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. I forgot. What is going on here? I think I forgot to categorize some. Some news. I have news, but nothing's showing up, man. Hold on. Bear with moi. Yep, there it is. Kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Last week we talked about the star pattern from Ben. Robbins. So he did part 2. If you want to read up his second version of that, I will put it in I'm not going to go into it, but I will link to his blog. And the player fix, and some of the things that he mentions. So, continuation. Let me see. Oh. Man, I wish I would have done this. I thought I was going to do it this morning. I totally slipped my mind. Next. TTT Insider. So Christopher Hutton has this blog, and he I think he has a journalist background, and has put out some articles. This one caught my eye. Crowdfunding slowing down in Q3 2025. So a cursory glance, probably could have put it under crowdfunding, but nonetheless, cursory glance over TTRPG crowdfunding trends in the third quarter of 2025 appear to reflect a slowing down in the industry with fewer big players at hand. There's probably a few factors involved. I don't know, like tariffs. Maybe it's Kickstarter or crowdfunding burnout. Who knows, right? And he goes into it. Talking about it. So the third quarter appears to reflect a slight slowdown in crowdfunding. Insider was only able to identify 14 TTRPG campaigns that have successfully raised $100,000 or more. That seems low. And ended their campaigns between July 1st and September 29th. So maybe some of the bigger ones have come later. This brings the total campaigns that successfully raised $100,000 up to 71 total. It also means that only 6 campaigns raised more than $1 million in 2025. Talks about Monty Cook's Cypher, raised over $1 million in its final hours. Magnus Archives, Tangled in the Web's success, which was their second one, over $1 million. So here's the 100K plus games that he lists and wants me to sign up for his newsletter. So what does it mean? So I'll put this in Chat. Maybe we're getting tired of it. Are we getting tired of crowdfunding? Has it sailed? Are we done? Are we finished? Like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait till it's done, and then I'll buy it. We'll see. Is anybody taking that stance? Tariffs, a recession, and how Kickstarter strike means the trend will grow, says Tim. Harrigan says yes. Very weary. That's true. Canada. Well, up here in Canada, we are mostly poor. Well, I don't know if it's as poor as much as it's expensive. I get it. Us Americans, cheaper, faster, better. Boom, bam, whack, bam, boom. Is it the I don't want to miss out is gone now? FOMO? It's not a big deal anymore? Maybe. Next one. Dragon's Milk and D&D collaboration continues with Stout, Bourbon, and Dice Tower. So Dragon's Milk is set to continue with New Holland Brewing Company. If you know, I think New Holland does Dragon's Milk, right? Right? Brewer Dragon's Milk. Duh. It's great stout, by the way. So some of those that like to enjoy an alcoholic beverage or two must be 21 or over here in the U.S. Just saying. I'm gonna see if I wonder if I can find these for a Gamehole Con. I don't know if the local place will have it. I'm interested to try maybe the bourbon barrel aged stout. Yummy, right? So that's out there. Is anybody giving any of those things a drink, a try, a sample? Laramie says, I really like Dragon's Milk, but coconut? Ew. Yeah, I can tell you try it, buddy. Tim says, see, that is what should be on tap instead of spotted cow. Well, right. $1,000 a barrel. Quest accepted. Shambot. If you buy some and you get like overloaded, because they're probably not cheap, let me know, Shambot. I'll chip in. Dragon's Milk is good. Joe's still here weighing in. Let's see. Next, I'm only switching because all my links and stuff are all messed up. So I apologize. It's not as smooth of a show that you naturally encounter week to week. Paizo to donate up to 10,000 meals via new Pathfinder crowdfunder. Don't play Starfighter? Don't like Pathfinder? That's fine. Like the company donating 10,000 meals via new Pathfinder crowdfunder. There you go. So the company will donate one meal to the United Nations World Program for every person who backs their latest project, Pathfinder Quest. So I wonder, does that include $1? Because some of these crowdfunding campaigns, you can just say, I support this. I'm going to donate a fixed dollar amount without any reward. I would argue, if that's the case, go over there, throw whatever the meal would cost. I don't know if it's $5 or $10. There you go. Feel good about yourself. It's organized by William Earl. If you don't know who William is, he's the D&D Shorts guy. Designed to rally the tabletop gaming community against global hunger. Other prominent figures from the TTRPG community are supporting the campaign, including actors Deborah Ann Wool and Anjali Bhimani, as well as creators like the Dungeon Dudes, Ginny D, and Pointy Hat. Start Playing also is heavily involved. There you go. RPGers, man. We're the best, right? We're the best. Moving. Keep it moving. Okay. I pointed this in the Discord. I found this. Well, Geek Native did. Go check out Geek Native. Click on their ads. The Strong Museum partners with Google for D&D's 50th anniversary. Did you see this? Well, you will. The digital exhibit titled Dungeons and Dragons: The First 50 Years of Storytelling explores the game's origins and its significant cultural impact. It charts the journey of D&D from a niche hobby to a global phenomenon, showing how it blended the universal appeal of make-believe with a structured game system of monsters, magic, and treasure. Kind of goes into a little bit of the history here, but the Google Arts and Culture exhibit delves into wargaming roots of D&D, a scene in which creators Arneson and Gygax were actively involved with. And so you can, I'll put the article to Geek Native. And then you can go and check out the exhibit. There is a link in the article, but I'll just short step it. Thought it was pretty cool. This is a letter from Arneson. And it's got a little snippet there in the lower left you can read. Like you're virtually walking through a museum. It's like crazy real. It's like almost VR. There you go. Anyways, I think that's all I had for news. Now I can get back. I think. So come on, where am I? I don't even know where I am, man. My window's all messed up. Oh, wait a minute. There's more. So like somebody mentioned, Kickstarter United is day 3 on a strike by local OPEIU. I know those guys. I staffed for that union. Not that local, different one. Office professionals, I can't remember the EIU part of it. But anyways, the instructions, do not boycott Kickstarter. Don't do that. They have other ways that you can support them if you're interested. We wish them the best of luck. 85% of members voted to authorize a strike beginning on Thursday, October 2nd at 8 a.m. And this is what they're looking for. And when their last contract was done, I think in July 25, we began bargaining. So, yep. And their first contract was won in 2022. So typically, OPEIU, I don't know if it's just them. I know a little bit because I did adhere to it. And so I know they're usually bargained for 3 years at a time. Boom. So you can read more about that. And then I think this one I skipped. They're building a memorial game table sculpture in honor of Gary Gygax. So this I wanted to bring up because, I don't know, it deserves some attention for people that may or may not know some of the details around this, and the history I think is important. So Gary passed away in 2008. His widow, Gail Gygax, has worked to have a memorial or statue built in his memory in their hometown of Lake Geneva. I have a picture of myself at Gen Con buying a book from Gail Gygax, and the proceeds of that book were to support the building of a memorial. I will tell you, getting that book, it was like kind of, I brought it up a long time ago in Gaming and BS because you're donating, but I'm like, oh, I really could use that book, but I will pay more for it and have the proceeds go. Like, it's a feel good win-win all over, unless you don't get the book. It took me like 8 months to get it. They ran out. They didn't reprint them. It was fiasco. And moving on, so read this article because it's important. If they're going to crowdfund this thing. They're launching a Kickstarter to raise the funds to make the Gygax Memorial table. They need $150,000 to make the basic monument, the table and the benches with other elements added at higher stretch goals. First of all, I think it's a great idea. I was thinking of this. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Because everybody can sit at the table And they get their picture taken with the Gygax Memorial. Awesome. The other monument they had proposed, weird. Like a Futurama Gygax head on top and looked strange. But I continue. If you pledge, blah, you get something, whatever. I don't know if they're going to make bricks or whatever. But anyways, the campaign creator is the Gygax Memorial Fund, which was founded by Gail Gygax. The mini mega dungeon will be written by Paul Stromberg. The sculptors will be blah. It tells about more of it. This isn't, here it is. This is where I wanted to get to. This isn't the first memorial planned by the fund. Back in 2012, they raised $100,000, apparently from a single donor for a different design pictured below, which was not constructed. That's not entirely true. I don't know if that's entirely true or not. Like, I know people donated to it. In 2022, the bulk of that donation was returned to the donor after several years of setbacks, which is surprising because I thought it got blown away somewhere. According to its yearly tax documents, at the end of 2023, the fund had a balance of $9,000. $9,759 after raising a total of $250,000. So there's the difference, right? So 100K of that 250 was from one donor. The rest was like people like you and me between the years of 2010 and 23, although mainly prior to 2014. The Memorial Initiatives page of the fund's website includes details of various recently completed projects, a park bench, blah, blah, permanent exhibits at Lake Geneva Library and Museum, and other things. The website provides an account of the fund's activities and fundraising efforts over the years. When it's all done and said, so that they got 100K, refunded that to the one key donor. 150K got, $141,000. The balance is $9,000, and then they want to raise another 150. What? It's like, come on, what is this? Let's do this. Be careful. Is all I'm saying. Do we want this? Some of us do. Some of us could give two shits. But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's a great. I like this concept. There's the freaking monument thing that they were gonna have. I like the table idea, but I don't know. If you're gonna donate, here's my advice. If you're gonna donate to that thing, just pretend like it's never gonna get made. And then if it does, hey. Anyways, that's all the news I have. No bundles. Let's go to print news. Print news. Dark Tide Extraction by Cubicle 7 for Warhamster 40K. Wrath and Glory RPG. Next one, Orestruck by Space Penguin Inc. Cairn. It's for Cairn. It's this second edition. Cairn. PCs find themselves in a town on the brink. Corpse thieves plunder the dead. For unknown purposes. A vicious gang hunts men through the streets at night, and the nearby mines have become home to an ossified monstrosity that murders and rends. It sounds serious. Next, Survivors of the Core Wars by Space Penguin Inc. That's for Mothership. Oversized deck of cards depicting 15 NPCs and PCs with full color art on the front and character stats on the back. Next one, Ruin Game System Rules. This is for Fate of the Norms, Ragnarok. Softcover condensed rulebook. Guide is a quick reference that features only the game rules in a slimmed down, optimized, digest-sized book. There you go. Last Fleet by Exalted Funeral, powered by the Apocalypse. Hardcover core rulebook. PC struggle to hold the human race and themselves together under attack by an extra-dimensional fungus network called the Corax that dwells in the same medium that faster-than-light ships travel through. Game focuses on action, intrigue, and drama. PCs fight space battles and search for enemy infiltrators, tackle supply shortages, and navigate faction politics. Next one, D&D Barcalonia Brancanolina. It's by Asheron. Spaghetti, Fantasy, Bestiary, Furious Lands, and Other Dirty Jobs, and Bounty Kingdom Gazetteer are now all available in print. Get it while it's hot. You're welcome. Link in the chat. Crowdfunding. Let's get into crowdfunding news. Invincible. Brought it up before. It's in the last couple weeks now, and it ends October 16th. I know some of you are excited to see that. Today's October 4th of this recording. It is funded 3 million kroner. Next one, Wild Magic Reimagined for 5th edition, 2014-2024, Level Up Advanced Edition, Tales of the Valiant, MCDM, all this stuff, Shadowdark, no, I'm just kidding. 5th edition, Level Up, Advanced 5th, and Tales of the Valiant. That's funded. Next one, Doom Spiral by Soul Muppet Publishing. Hey, you want me to sound that cool when I announce your game company? Get a cool name. That easy. An original fantasy RPG set on a dying world inspired by Hidetaka Miyazaki's work. Ooh. There you go. Next one, Dark Fantasy Construction Kit from Arkenforge. System neutral. Do you need VTT maps, tokens, digital assets for your Dark Fantasy Online games? Then this is the Kickstarter for you, which is not funded. It's got 1 week to go. Ooh, got a little uphill battle on that one. Just saying, good luck, folks. Glatisant, a 2-player Arthurian TTRPG from Craftbound Press. Carta is the system by Peach Garden Games. Core rulebook. That is funded. It's low minimum. It's a duet 2-player game. Offers a variant of that with a 2-gamer round-robin GM style of play. You'll play as the gallant knight and the questing beast, each taking a role in creating this world's myths. Next one, Tales from Whitechapel from Battlefield Press. This is for Gaslight Victorian Fantasy RPG. Project type, prose fiction. It's a 122-page of fiction prose set in the world of Gaslight Victorian Fantasy RPG. Written by the likes of August Hahn, which is Lone Wolf RPG, Sisterhood of the Blade, Ken Spencer, Rocket Age, Kelly Kate, Tracy Reeves, Daryl Mallet for Star Trek The Next Generation, and George Sartiano with a foreword by Philip Reed. It's got a little ways to go to get to the minimum there. What's Old is New, role-playing system, Bestiary, Kickstarter. This is from Wine. WIN. From EN Publishing. That's funded. There you go. That's all I got. Boom, bam, bing, boom. If you liked this video before you had left, hopefully you gave it a like. You guys yell down the hall to those folks that left. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I will be here 8 a.m. Central Time. Same bat channel, same bat time. And then the week after will be Gamehole Con. Maybe he'll stream from Gamehole Con. I don't know. I have a game early morning, I think Saturday though. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to get you maybe some Gamehole action. Yeah. I want to thank all these fine individuals for supporting me over the years and over times with a few shekels each month. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Chat would be infinitely more boring. Not that it is any boring at all. That's not what I'm saying. But it'll be pretty bad if you weren't here. That's me laying on the guilt trip. I'm just saying, if you're not here next week, I mean, go be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. I will say that. Check out this thing over here, whatever pops up, if it's one of my videos, if you'd be so kind. And if you are so, and if you're so interested, check out gobagpod.com. Espionage RPG podcast by me and Harrigan. If you don't like our espionage RPGs or covert ops, okay. Check out his blog. And then come back here next week. Otherwise, I will see you later. Peace.